Assalamu alaikum. We continue now with the sound masculine plural. باب معرفة علامات الإعراب. للرفع 4 علامات: الضمة والواو والألف والنون. فأما الضمة فتكون علامة للرفع في 4 مواضع في الاسم المفرد وجمع التكسير، وجمع المؤنث السالم والفعل المضارع الذي لم يتصل بآخره شيء. So we covered that dhamma. That's the first part about the dhamma and what type of nouns and verb it covers. وأما الواو, and this is what we are covering now as a mark for the state of being raised. وأما الواو فتكون علامة للرفع في موضعين: في جمع المذكر السالم وفي الأسماء الخمسة، وهي أبوك وأخوك وحموك وفوك وذو مال. So the waw is used as a mark for the state of rafa. So here it says it is a mark for the state of rafa in 2 places, موضعين. So that's where you would see the waw used as a mark for the state of rafa. In the sound masculine plural, جمع المذكر السالم. جمع المذكر السالم here. جمع is plural, مذكر masculine, salim is sound. And in the 5 nouns, وفي الأسماء الخمسة. We will cover these later. So this is how far we got in this text. If we continue with the النحو الواضح, this is the book we used for some of our examples. We get to this point. We covered these nouns, the proper nouns and the adjectives. So in here, this is al-bahth, the research or the discussion of this subject. And they go into details of what we discussed in the first part of this section in that book. So I will not go too deep into these details. We just take what we need at this level. So here it says these adjectives and the examples given: مخلصون, مجتهدون, نائمون, رابحون. All these are adjectives. The singular of these adjectives does not have a ta to make it feminine, and that singular of that adjective is for a masculine sentient being or someone with intellect. عاقل means have intellect. So it doesn't have one of the marks to indicate the feminine, which is this ta here. And it's for a sentient being, someone who has intellect, and it's masculine. So that's the case that you have this jama' mudhakkar salim or the sound masculine plural used in. Now, as I said, there's more details here, other conditions. Some of it has to do with the other marks of feminizing. Some of the scales that if the noun rhymes with, the Arabs used not to use the sound masculine plural with it. So we will come back to this when we discuss the sound masculine plural later. So just know from all this that there are some conditions that need to be met for that to be used. So when you study a text, you will see these nouns. Just be expecting to see it somewhere where some of these conditions are not met, and or you understand the conditions to be there, but it's not used. So here I just want to cover this. وعلى هذا, based on all this, رجل and sword. So رجل means man, and sword سيف means a sword. So this is a being with intellect, but it's not a proper noun. So you cannot use that sound masculine plural with it. This here, sword, an inanimate object, So one of these conditions is not there. It's not sentient, and it's not an adjective. So that's another condition it's not meeting. So you cannot do that. Here the reason is given لأنهما ليس علمين ولا صفتين. You see, they're not proper nouns and they're not adjectives. Another situation, Zainab, this is a proper noun, but it's for a female, Zainab, for a woman or a girl. Murda is a wet nurse, which is an adjective here, but it's an adjective for a feminine, so you cannot have that sound masculine plural. لأنهما علم وصفة لمؤنث, because they are a proper noun and an adjective for a feminine. So this is a proper noun for a feminine and it's an adjective for a feminine. That's why these, you cannot add the un with these. Now you have exceptions. So just expect that. You see, they used to give names to things. So they would use a noun that fit these conditions, but they use it to call, let's say here they're calling a mare لاحق. You see the لاحق here, it fits these conditions, so you can add un to it. But it's the way it's used as a proper noun indicating an animal or given to an animal. So that's why it's not used. شامخ, which means standing tall or high, it's an adjective for a mountain. That's another condition that's not met. لأنهما لغير عاقل, because they are given to something that's not sentient. It does not have an intellect. And here also these are nouns. They sound feminine, but they are given here Hamza. That's a proper noun for a man, but it has the feminine ta there. So because of that, Hamza, even though it's a proper noun for a man, it's not used with the masculine, sound masculine plural. Fahama, also that's an adjective, and it's an adjective for a man. But because of that ta there, it's in the feminine state here, it's not also used as a sound masculine. In here, again, more details about this. As I said, we will deal with that later. I just want to point some things that you will come across when you're studying a text more often. So here there are some nouns that they're treated like the sound masculine plural, but they do not have لم يستوفي الشروط المتقدمة. It did not have these conditions. Did not fulfill these conditions. But that's the way the Arabs used it. So they call it mulhaqat, attachment. They treat it as that, but it's because that's the way they used it. So I will cover some of these because you will see them a lot. This way you won't be confused about them. There are some adjectives in the Arabic language that are used with both feminine and masculine. So the word ajuz, it means an old person. So you can describe a man as ajuz or a woman as ajuz. So, and there are more adjectives like this. So in this type of adjectives, you do not use the masculine. And these will come a lot. That's why I wanted to point that out. Now, the other type that you will come across, you see there's ulu here, which means the ones with the numbers 20, 30, 40, 60. All these numbers, they all have that form of the sound masculine plural, but they do not meet those conditions that we just described. So, but that's how they used it in the Arabic language. So here, عشرون and its sisters, meaning 20, 30, 40, 50. Those are its sisters. That's what they call it. Banoon, sons. Also, this noun does not meet these conditions, but that's how they used it. Ahloon, meaning those related to a person, a bigger group of relations to a person. Ardun, which is a plural for ard, earth or land. Same thing, it does not meet these conditions, but that's how it's used. This one here is, you will see, sinun. This here could be sanawat. That's one of the way you will see it, which is a plural for a year. This here means years. That's one of the way they use the plural for the word sana. Sana is the singular for a year, and there is a masculine form for it, is am. So am is a year and sana is a year. You will see these a lot. So sana here, the plural of it, sometimes you could have it this here, sunun, or you have this sanawat. So just be aware of them. That's the whole point of this. You don't have to worry about memorizing this stuff now or focusing on it. Just know it's there. This will come with practice. Here we have an exercise in this lesson. This is exercise 1. Turn these singular nouns into the sound masculine form and enter the first 7 in a sentence. So that's what's required in this exercise. Here, Jamil, which means beautiful. And here, if you say add a ta to it, Jamila, it will be a beautiful woman. Without it, Jamil is singular masculine. A beautiful boy or man or anything that's masculine. Jamil. So this is an adjective, and it's used to describe a masculine, sentient or intelligent being. So Jamil, it's Jamilun. You see, nothing changed with the noun. You just added the un to it, and it became the plural of this noun. Katib, this here is a katib. That's the writer. Katib. So this is an adjective, and it describes a masculine. So if you add a ta to it, it will be katiba, a writer, a woman or female, feminine. Without it, it's masculine. So the plural of it is katibun. You just add the un to it. Katibun. Muqatil here is a fighter. Muqatil. Describing a masculine, intelligent being. So you just add muqatilun. You just add the un to it. That's the plural of it. Here is Misri. Misri is an Egyptian, and it's describing an Egyptian. So this here, you can add Misriyun. You see, this is a good time to point this out. You see this here, Misri. Just expect to see this used as an and sometimes it's an e, but they do not show the dots. Just be aware of that. So this here, when you pronounce it in the singular, it's Misri, and in other texts you will see the dots there. So it's confusing, but that's how it exists. So the plural of this is Misriyun, and the reason they write this here in this form, not like this here, this there, that's an that's an in here it's written like this. When you see it like this written and it's pronounced as an like this, just be aware that in another form of this noun it will take the e, and that's a good clue for you to know. So in one way, that's a good thing that they did this. This way you don't have to worry about checking the dictionary. If you see an in a noun written like this, just know in another form of that verb or noun, you will have this turn into an e. So that's the point of using this shape to represent this here in some nouns. And like in the middle of the word, you will never see it like this. It will be always an And if the noun, the vowel was changed from an u in another form of whatever the noun is, they will use this at the end, like da'a. This here, call, to means to call. In the present tense, it will be yad'u. You see that u? So when they went to the past tense, they changed this vowel U to an A here. So when you see this da'a, a past tense verb with the last letter like this, an A also, you will know in the present tense it's an U. So that's very helpful for someone studying a text. So this here is Misriyun. Here is Qari, a reciter or a reader. You just add this A becomes like this. Un. Qari'un. Qari'un. That's enough from these nouns. Now you have a good idea about what the sound masculine plural is. Next time, inshallah, we cover the 5 nouns. Cover these, inshallah, in the next video. Thank you for listening. See you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.